Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. So today we're going to talk to you about the Boafeng UV-5RA 2 meter 70 centimeter ham radio or handy talkie, walkie-talkie, whatever you want to call these things. Anyways, a little walkie-talkie jobby. You do need an amateur radio license in order to transmit on this, but apparently not to own one and just listen in. No big deal there. Anyways, I don't have my ham radio license yet. I'll be doing that in January or February of 2018, and then I'll be able to transmit on this thing for you guys, and we'll do a bunch of testing with different antennas and other accessories and so on. Okay, in the meantime, this is part one of the review of what I think about it so far. Now, I do find that it does have very clear reception. It's a little bit different to use than a GMRS radio, okay, one of these. And it does pack some pretty nice features, that's for sure. It is dual band, so you have VHF and UHF. There are more expensive radios that have more bands, like your tri-band or quad-band radios. This is just a dual band, okay? But it does also have a FM radio in it so that you can listen to your favorite radio stations, music stations, okay? And so anyways, when you first turn it on,
frequency mode,
it will say frequency mode. It could be in English, Chinese, or nothing at all. Mine came factory defaulted as English, so hey, I like English. And it's female voice, which is kind of nice. So anyways, we do have an A and B selector for UHF and for VHF on top, UHF on the bottom. Also, you've got this button here, which switches between frequency and channel mode.
Channel mode, frequency mode.
So just push it. Now to get to your FM radio, you see a little orange button up top. Okay, that's your call button. Just push it quickly once. Takes you over to the FM radio. If you want to change stations, hit the scan button. And just keep hitting the scan button until you find a station to listen to. Press the call button again quickly, and it kicks you right back to your regular radio usage. There's a monitor button here for picking up low transmissions, because you have a squelch that's automatically turned on, which you can leave it off if you wanted to, but you won't be able to scan with the squelch turned off. So you need to have your squelch at least on like 2 or 3 or 4 in that area. Usually 3 is about the best. Anyway, so press and hold. And if anything comes through, you'll be able to listen to a weaker station by bypassing the squelch that way. Okay, it's temporary bypass. The other thing you can do with that button is you can press it quickly once, flashlight, press it again, basically a beacon, emergency thing, whatever, flashing light, press it again, turns it off. You can get into the menu very easy from hitting the menu button, and then you can scroll through your choices here. Things that you want to do, change your step rates, all kinds of features in here, just crazy stuff. Read up on about it before you screw with stuff, because you may want to change certain things. So read up on that in your manual as best as you can. Failing that, because the manual is not the world's best for explaining everything, go on the internet and do a Google search of what each one of these things actually means, and that will actually help you out quite a bit. Anyways, you also have a band button where you can switch to full UHF here. You can also go down here and to your UHF and then push the band button. It switches you to VHF both sides here, which is kind of interesting the way it works like that, but whatever, it does. So for testing purposes, since I can't transmit on this but I can receive, I've got my Motorola GMRS radio here, and I programmed in channel 1 into the Boafeng.
Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check 1 2 1 2.
If you have the radios too close, you will get feedback, no matter what. So, you know, this is the idea of just checking the sound quality of the radio.
1 2 1 2. Yep, I can hear this just fine. I can hear this just fine. Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, so that works. It's got good clear sound. Happy with that. No problem. Now, getting access to your battery. You have a battery clip that you have to install yourself, okay? Now, it comes in the box. The screws are already in the radio, so you're going to have to remove the screws to put the belt clip on, but just simply push down this black button back here, and then lift up in your clip, pull the battery out, and it's a 7.4 volt lithium ion 1800 milliamp battery. You can get higher capacity batteries for more than double the runtime, no big deal, or you can get replacement stock ones if you want. Put it back in, just pop your clip up and slide her back. Now, I bought these from lightinthebox.com because they were only $26 Canadian each, so 20 bucks US. I couldn't even get that price out of Banggood. I couldn't get it anywhere else that cheap. Even in Canada, these sell for about $48 to $49 plus tax plus shipping. I didn't have to pay tax, and I think my shipping was free, or I had to pay a couple of bucks. Can't remember offhand. Have to check my invoice. Anyways, either way, I saved a bundle on buying 2 of these because they were on sale, for one, for $26 each, and 2, I get 2 of them for the price of 1 in Canada. And yeah, even in Canada, I was looking at $20 shipping, you know, plus the taxes. And it's like, saved a bundle. And you know, the guy in Canada, although I do recommend him, he's a great guy, he's got some really nice radios, and some of his radios are really well priced, and at least you're going to get them quicker too. The other advantage too is buying in your own country, like Canada in my case, would have been the fact that the radios would have come from this company at least, already pre-programmed for Canadian and US frequencies that were allowed on the ham bands. Whereas buying this thing from Light in the Box, yeah, I've got FCC stickers, which he also says are on all his radios. Makes no difference for FCC stickers, by the way. If you're a ham radio, there's no special certification for ham operators. But anyways, whatever. I can program this myself. And I would be programming it myself regardless, because there would be certain things I would want in the radio for listening to on my favorites. So why not just buy the radio out of China, wipe it clean. It's really easy to format this radio, by the way. I did it once already. I had to clone my wife's to put mine back to factory. But anyway, it's easy to program the radio with Chirp. Chirp is actually the most highly recommended program too for programming handheld ham radios, whether it's a Boafeng, a Woosan. I mean, there's a list this long of radios and models that the program will support. So hey, and whenever they update the program, you get updated driver stuff. And you use the UV-5RA protocol for this radio, even though it's a 5RA. Doesn't matter, the 5R works fine. It gives you a little warning dialogue, you know, blah blah blah. Just ignore it, you're fine. It's never caused a problem. You're good to go. But now, that brings us to the good points and bad points here. Some of the other things. Number one, when it comes to any of these radios, I don't care who makes it or how much it costed you, you know, cheap or expensive, you're going to have problems in city. Now, some radios will not do as well in city situations as other more expensive ones would. That's a common fact, okay? But you also have some of the more expensive radios aren't the best radios out there either. So you got to really research your radios before you buy them to make sure you're not buying a piece of crap, because you could spend a lot of money into this stuff, like a lot. And I started with these because they're beginner grade as far as I'm concerned. Well, hey, 26 bucks. But they're built great, good strong build quality in these things. Fit and finish is awesome on it too. Very well made as far as I'm concerned, you know. And you'll find that there's a lot of people that hate it, but there's more people that love this radio than those that hate it. So the majority wins in this case. It's a great radio. It's definitely a must-buy. The antenna that comes with it really does suck, to be honest. Indoors, I mean, getting the weather station here is a pain in the neck. I have to stand in certain spots. It's not the best reception. Outside, it's absolutely perfect as long as I'm about 10 feet away from the house. No problem, but I'm not doing that. Just listen to the weather station outside in the wintertime. It's kind of ridiculous. So I want to get higher gain antennas in order to solve that problem. That's another thing, is you can solve a lot of your inner city range transmit and receive problems by just getting a high gain antenna. You know, I mean, for 26 bucks, if you're expecting a really high performance antenna, you're expecting way too much, okay? And these are 5-watt radios. They do drop between 1 watt to 4 or 5 watt total output. but you can get higher gain antennas for better transmission output, better reception. I live in the country, and these are going to work the best for me. I was talking to the one guy who, I think he's the main head of our ham club anyways. We're going to be going there for another meeting tomorrow. But he was telling me that for in the country, these things are great. In the city, they're not going to do as well, okay? And it's the same thing with other radios out there too. A lot of them will do better than this, sure, you know, because you're getting probably a lot better antenna for one, okay? And two, you could be getting something that has better receptors built in as well. So, I mean, that's kind of a, you know, you kind of get what you pay for, but you kind of don't in a way. Like this, you're paying like very cheap price for, like under $30, and you're getting a lot for your money here, okay? And a lot of good for your money. If you want the better range and reception, just buy another antenna. Search out high gain antennas, see what the most popular ones are that have the best results with the Baofangs, and that's what you go after, you know? Or buy a few different types and see which one you think is the best for your area. Because what's best for one person's area is not necessarily going to be the best for your area, okay? So keep that in mind. But certainly the stock antenna will work very well to a certain point, but it will reach its limits. You will need to put a better antenna on this thing. And there's a car kit you can get too with a magnetic antenna that has the SMA female end piece on it that screws into here. So if you're not sure what SMA female is, that's an SMA female, okay? So there you go. And the threads are on the outside, of course, of the antenna. So anyway, you've got the side port. This is where your cable plugs into for your programming. Microphone, transmit, and speaker port. Also, you can get a handheld microphone, which is a combination microphone and speaker that also plugs into here as well. And so you can have this thing mounted on you or on your back, and then just have the thing hanging over. It's kind of nice and convenient that way. Now, these are also great in an emergency situation, apparently. Well, they would be definitely for somebody who's licensed. But if you are unlicensed and you have one of these things and you're just listening in, should there be an emergency and cell phones are down, house phones are down, I mean, shit hits the fan, right? The prepper people, you know what I'm talking about? People are saying that you can, in an emergency, transmit without a license for emergency services if you need to. And that would even go as far as if you're out in the wilderness, you're fishing, camping, hiking, you break your leg, something, I mean, you're far away from anywhere. If you got this with you, you could call for help. I think that that is possibly true even in Canada, that you could get away with that, but I would have to confirm that first. And I would suggest you do the same for wherever you live to find out if that's actually true, because just because somebody says something about it on a video doesn't make it a fact, okay? Because transmitting on these things illegally, so unlicensed, yeah, some countries take a real offense to it, especially our country in Canada. The penalties are extremely stiff, which is the one thing that I read about what it is, yeah, I'm not pressing this button. Forget that. When I get my license, I'll press this like a happy man, okay? But until then, forget it. Now, you can also set this up as a scanner, to just be doing it, use it as a scanner. It's a cheap way to get a scanner. You program in all the crap like you would have on a scanner anyhow, but now you've got UHF, VHF as well. A lot of scanners, yes, they support that too, but you can use that, use this as just as a scanner. So I'm actually thinking about buying a third one, where they're still cheap, and setting it up strictly as a scanner only. And for that, I would put a better antenna on it, etc. And you know, because I want the reception, obviously, right? So anyways, that's another usage for them. Now, as far as being able to transmit using the UHF here with GMRS channels and FRS. FRS is half a watt, and there is no legal way to transmit on an FRS programmed channel into this. It's not legal, and I don't even think it would be legal for a ham operator either because of the half watt limitation. As far as the GMRS, we're allowed up to 2 watts in Canada, and this thing can drop to 1 watt, so we should be okay, but I will check into that, and you'll find out my news about that on the next video when I do the final testing and review of this radio. So don't go out and do anything stupid right away. I do know for a fact that if you program in GMRS frequencies into this and you don't have a license, even if you did turn the power down for the GMRS channels to 1 watt to keep you within the wattage limits, that is definitely illegal, because this is a ham radio. This is a ham radio. This is a GMRS. This is UHF, yes, but there's different regulations because of radio type, and that's where it all comes into play there. So we'll have to check further into those regulations and rules and stuff about that. And I know a lot of people are using these radios here, the Boafengs, in paintball and stuff, and they're not supposed to be doing it. And it's not a matter of if they will get caught, it's a matter of when they will get caught. And when they do get caught, they will be severely dealt with according to the penalties implied in their country, city, whatever, okay? And like I said, in Canada, it's pretty stiff, so you can take your chances or not. It's up to you. I don't care. I'm smart enough to stay away from that pretty black button until I'm licensed. As far as the rest of things go, I think it's great. I'm really liking it. Even the quality of the buttons, the stiffness of them and everything, it feels quality, you know. The whole radio feels good in the hand too, and it's not overly huge. The knob for the volume and everything, it's got good friction in it, so it's you know, it's very acceptable. It's not tight, but it's not loose for the turning of the potentiometer here. Volume output is very loud, so it's very controllable too, which is nice. The flashlight's kind of cool, although I don't really have much of a use for the flashlight, but whatever. I love the FM radio feature in there, because I don't have a radio in my room in here, so I can sit in here, turn this on to my favorite FM station, and listen. And this gets awesome reception for FM radio. Just trying to listen to the weather station, I have to be in certain spots in the room, and it doesn't come in that great. And that's a lot to do with the antenna too. But I am going to, like I said, get higher gain antennas and so on, and we'll go through it, and we'll learn to program this thing manually as well. I'll show you how to do that, show you how to set up the radio with all the different features once I learn about those too. It's a learning process for all of us, but anyways, in the meantime, hopefully you enjoyed this video and you got a lot out of it, and thanks for watching. And hey, if you're not subbed, smash the subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications, and you'll get updates on future videos, including the update review on this when it comes time, once I'm licensed and I can do some testing with it. So in the meantime, thanks again, and we'll catch you later. Ciao.